There are people who saw your light and didn't want to celebrate it. They wanted to control it. People who felt your radiance, your energy, your divine presence. And instead of supporting it, they tried to shut it down. They tried to dim your light because it reminded them of everything they were not. But what they didn't realize is that your light didn't come from them. It came from the divine. And no matter what they did, divine power stepped in and exposed their intentions. Welcome back, Advancing Kings and Queens. Today, we're diving into something deeply spiritual, deeply real. This is for every person who was attacked, not because they did something wrong, but because they dared to shine. Because you showed up as yourself. Because you refused to shrink to make others feel comfortable. Because your presence was too powerful for their pride. You didn't come into their life to hurt them. You came with love. You came with purity. You came with a spirit of peace. But they didn't know how to receive it. So instead, they tried to compete. They tried to belittle you. They tried to plant seeds of doubt in your mind, hoping you'd question your value. They spoke behind your back. They mocked your efforts. They treated your light like a threat. But you kept shining anyway. Yes, you may have dimmed your light for a moment. You may have second-guessed yourself. You may have pulled back thinking, maybe I am too much. But that was only temporary. Because something in you, something divine, refused to stay small. Something in you kept rising. And when you chose not to hide who you are, divine justice began to unfold. Because when someone attacks a child of light, they're not just messing with a person. They're going against divine order. And the universe has a way of revealing hearts. It has a way of bringing truth to the surface. And that's exactly what happened. The same people who tried to make you look like the problem, they're now being seen clearly. Their mask is slipping. Their intentions are being exposed. See, they thought they could dim your light and get away with it. They thought they could gossip, sabotage, manipulate, and stay in control. But Spirit had other plans. What they didn't realize is that your light has protection on it. How about that? That you don't walk alone. That your glow is guarded by something far greater than them. And now they're facing the consequences. They tried to make others turn against you. But now, those same people are seeing the truth. They're realizing who was genuine and who was jealous, who was authentic and who was acting. And it's all unfolding without you having to do a thing. That's the power of divine vindication. You didn't have to fight back. You didn't have to get even. Your only job was to keep shining. And that light exposed everything they tried to hide. Now they're uncomfortable. Not because you changed, but because their games don't work anymore. Their words no longer carry weight. Their manipulation no longer moves you. You've risen above it, and that elevation came from the Most High. It wasn't your strength alone that kept you going. It was grace, divine grace, that refused to let your light be buried. And now the spotlight is on them. Everything they tried to hide is being revealed. The masks are falling off. The truth is coming out. And it's not because you sought revenge. It's because divine power will always protect its own. They thought they were so clever. They thought their faked smiles and quiet envy would never be noticed. They assumed they could blend in as a friend, a supporter, a neutral bystander. But Spirit doesn't just watch, it reveals. And what they did in secret has now come to light. Because divine power doesn't just defend you, it exposes those who came against you. Even if you would never, or you never said a word, even if you never fought back, justice was already moving behind the scenes. You were sent to uplift, to inspire, to share light in a space that needed it. But your presence challenged them. Your peace irritated the demons. It irritated their demons. Your confidence exposed their insecurities. And so they launched an invisible war. Quiet jabs, backhanded compliments, subtle shade, undermining you at every turn. But while they were busy trying to pull you down, you were being lifted up. The Almighty never left you alone in that storm. You may have cried, you may have doubted, but you were never abandoned. Even in your silence, the Most High was speaking for you. Even in your low moments, divine energy was protecting your name, your purpose, your calling. And now, the truth is rising to the surface. People who once believed the lies are starting to see through the illusion. They're watching how you handle everything with grace. They're seeing your consistency, your peace, your growth. And now they're questioning everything they were told. Because time always reveals what manipulation tried to hide. And in the end, light always wins. Now they're uncomfortable because they've lost the control they thought they had. You're no longer shrinking. You're no longer explaining yourself. You're no longer seeking their approval. You've realized you don't have to beg anyone to see your light. You just have to shine. And that alone is shaking the very people who tried to dim you. Let this be your confirmation. You never needed to retaliate. You never needed to stoop to their level. You never needed to expose them. Because divine power did that for you. All you had to do was stay in alignment. Keep your energy clean. Keep your heart pure. And now everything is being flipped. What was meant to break you is building you. What was sent to silence you is amplifying your voice. They can't figure out how you're still standing, how you're still glowing, how you're still walking in purpose after everything they tried to do. That's because your light isn't self-made. It's source-fed. It's divine. It's untouchable. And now they're realizing that trying to dim someone else's light only ends up exposing their own darkness. They thought people would see you differently, but now they're the ones being looked at with side eyes. They're the ones facing questions. They're the ones losing support. And it's not because you spoke against them. It's because your light told the truth. Without you having to defend yourself, you're being vindicated, or you've been vindicated. That's what happens when your spirit is aligned. That's what happens when you choose peace over pettiness, purpose over revenge. Spirit will fight your battles in ways your words never could. That's why you're advancing. That's why your light is increasing. Because you refused to dim yourself. And now you're being elevated for it. So don't let this experience make you bitter. Let it make you wiser. Let it remind you of your power. Let it remind you that when you walk in light, darkness cannot win. Let it teach you that some people were only placed in your life to awaken you to your worth. And now that you've seen it, you can't unsee it. You're no longer seeking permission to be who you are. You've been confirmed. Spirit confirmed you. Your elevation is the evidence. Your peace is the proof. You don't need validation from those who try to destroy you. You don't need love from those who only felt powerful when you felt small. That season is over. That cycle is done. You're in a new space now. One where your light shines freely, where your energy is protected, where your purpose leads the way. And if someone still tries to come for you, just remember, they're not fighting you. They're fighting the divine power that works with you. And that's a battle they will never win. Because light doesn't apologize. Light doesn't beg. Light doesn't dim for the comfort of darkness. Keep shining. Keep advancing. Keep walking in your truth. The exposure has already happened. You don't have to say a word. Let your glow speak. Let your progress speak. Let your peace speak. They tried to dim your light, but divine power exposed them. And now, you're free to shine even brighter than before. As we're here on this advancing channel, and I send you all of this love, all of this light, all of this positive energy. We're here, the sun is shining, the birds are singing softly and tenderly. Oh wow, it's beautiful out here in nature, and I send you good vibes. I look forward to reading your comments, to hearing what you have to say. Thank you for being here. Big up to every supporter of this channel. Like the video if you haven't done so. In other words, hit that thumbs up button. Thank you for your support, for being a member, for being a subscriber. Like, share, comment. Do all of those things they do on YouTube. How about that? My name is Mantius. As you already know, this is the Advancing Channel. One love, God bless, and all the best.